So I'm Jelaine, I'm the head vet at Paignton Zoo. Every year we have a group of dormice that we release back to the wild, and before they're released they have to go through a quarantine period. That quarantine is to make sure that we're not introducing any exotic diseases to the wild habitat that they're going back to, because the last thing we want to do is wipe out any wildlife that are there, any rodents that are there, or introduce a new disease. So during this quarantine process they have one health check under anaesthetic, and during that we put in a microchip so that those animals can be identified during the release process. That's when we are monitoring how they're getting on. And we need to be able to know where those dormouse have come from, and whether different techniques in rearing them and feeding them produce better results at the release. We're also looking for any signs of ill health, so we're looking at sort of hearts and lungs, abdomens, looking at the major organs there, looking at eyes, teeth, ears, and their skin condition generally. We will also take a fecal sample to look for parasites. We'll take a hair sample for genetic studies later on. Some body measurements and weight so that we can do some sort of morphometric analysis for them. Morphometrics is looking at body size and shape. So as well as getting a weight, we could have what looked like a big weight, and we might think it might be a fat dormouse from that weight, but actually it could be a very long body and a long tail. So we're taking sort of things like the crown to rump length, the tail length, just to see whether those dormice are actually bigger dormice or whether they're little fat dormice. So to anaesthetise them, we actually use some gaseous anaesthetic, and we just put the dormouse completely in the mask and use the gaseous anaesthetic to induce anaesthesia in them. And once they're anaesthetised, we'll put them on a much smaller mask, like this one, and then the gas is turned down to a slightly lower level and they're maintained under anaesthetic during the procedure. And then as soon as we want them to wake up again, we just turn the gas off and give them oxygen to breathe.